Yes, sir, gentlemen, what is up? It is July the 11th. We had a great July 4th. We have a little birthday celebration recently for Mr. Frankie P. What is up, man?
Yep. Hello. Independence Day was wonderful. It's glad to be back on the podcast.
Frankie,
it's always live from the White Room.
Yeah, always a pleasure to see you. Let's get today's show started. Let's get it started, man. We've got a great show. It's going to be Crypto Curious to start out today. And then we're going to talk a little sports. We're going to go pop culture, movies, TV, and end today with the questions. Folks, new format, by the way. Quick little hitter here. A little 20-minute show for you. We're going to rip through this, and we're going to have some fun along the way. So let's get started. Crypto Curiosity, Frankie P. What do you got for me this week, man? What kind of questions?
Yeah, we're coming out of the gates hot. We're in the sprint mode. Sprint format this week. So crypto, I was thinking a lot about crypto. I don't know if you followed the story on our Instagram. You saw I went to Wendy's, got my famous spicy chicken sandwich, and lo and behold, there's a sign sitting on the door. It's funny they don't tell you when you order. Actually they did. I'm sorry. Shout out, my bad. Wendy's didn't mean to mess that up. But when you get to the second window, change shortage. If you're paying with cash, please have exact change, which no one has exact change ever. Yeah. So there's a change shortage going on. So it piqued my interest, and I was like, maybe Ben was onto something with Bitcoin. But then I got to thinking, like, what is the value behind Bitcoin? Like, the gold standard is for U.S. dollars backed by gold in theory. Like Bitcoin, what's the gold standard for that? Because it seems like you use money to purchase Bitcoin, which would mean it's backed by the gold standard. So I don't know if that's even makes any sense, but that was my question.
Very excellent observation, Frankie P, and I'm so glad you asked. So quick little history lesson for you. The gold standard no longer exists here in the United States since 1930. It was Executive Act or Order 6102 by, I believe it was FDR after World War II. What happened was the government said, all right, it's going to be illegal to own gold. So they forced everybody after World War II to hand in their gold. So they pretty much compiled one of the most massive surpluses of gold in the world, and then they just started handing out paper. We're like, hey, here's what this is worth. This is, I think the original gold bar was 1 ounce, and they said it was going to be worth $400. That's like today's day and time value. So long story short, we are no longer on the gold standard. Nixon squashed that. A bunch of countries got together. So the U.S. dollar is theoretically backed just by the U.S. government saying it. So that's how the U.S. dollar works. But when it comes to answer your question, when it comes to is there a gold standard for Bitcoin? No, there's not. It is speculative in nature. So what that means is that the people buying and selling it will dictate the price of it. So right now, today's price is like $9,300 is what one Bitcoin is worth. So that means the market believes that one Bitcoin is worth that amount. So that's pretty much your answer there, dude.
Yeah, that was cool, dude. You knocked it out of the park. Yeah, it does. I'm intrigued by the Bitcoin. I'm obviously very curious. I'm crypto curious, going through a crypto curious phase. And I'm gonna come next time with some more questions. I'm gonna keep reading into it, and maybe I'll have a little Bitcoin in my pocket.
Hey, dude. Well, I'm glad you asked. That's why I'm here, man. I'm here to pique that curiosity. And I to your point, though, with the Wendy's shit, like that is crazy that I've heard it costs more money to make a dime than what the dime's actually worth.
Yeah. And now that you say that, I've heard that as well. But it just shocked me. I was like, wow, I mean, like we talked on the pre-show, who still uses change? Like I use a credit card every time. But I mean, there are certain circumstances you kind of have to use cash. But like, yeah, it just seemed weird. And I was reading more into it. They were saying less person-to-person transactions are occurring due to COVID. So the flow of the change, if you will, is not occurring. So, and some banks, I guess, are closed. So we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah, man. Craziness in the world of change. But digital currency is definitely going to be coming very quickly, it seems like. So we're going to shift right into sports this week. Sports Talk Skinny. Frankie P, catch us up on what's going on out there in the sports world.
Yeah, so you got a lot going on. Something I've been looking very forward to that's happening tonight is finally here, Fight Island. Fight Island has arrived. We are here. 3 title belts, UFC title belts on the line. Usman versus Game Bread, which, by the way, I think is a cool ass nickname. I wish someone nicknamed me that, Game Bread. And just bread for the game. I guess that's what it means. I don't really know. But it's Jorge Masvidal is Game Bread versus Karamu Usman, a American Nigeria fighter. This guy, Usman, he's like 14-1, straight up tank. He's on an 11-fight win streak. He's bigger, stronger, wrestler type fighter. He's going up against Game Bread, which this guy, I don't know. I mean, I know you know, but most people might not know who Kimbo Slice is. He was like an underground street fighter and used to like organize. Yeah. That's probably where the Game Bread came from. But this guy met Kimbo Slice like back in the day when he was like really young and was doing street fights and would show up and fight people on very short notice. Just key point here, because this guy, Game Bread, wasn't even supposed to be in this fight. The other fighter tested positive for COVID, so he can't fight. They scramble to try to fill his spot. Boom, this guy says, I'll fight him. The most feared fighter, Usman, is going to fight Game Bread, and on like 6 days notice to train. I mean, granted, these guys are professional fighters, so I'm sure they're working out like every day and keeping the cardio up and stuff. But there's some strategy involved. But yeah, man, I'm super pumped. It's here tonight. Do you think the Kimbo guy goes up with short notice? Game Bread kills Usman, or are you like the bigger, stronger guy?
Dude, I mean, I don't really follow UFC very much, but I used to love Kimbo Slice till he passed away. God rest his soul. But
Sure.
if this kid Usman is in the school of Kimbo Slice, man, I'm pulling for an underdog. I think is it? Masvidal.
Yeah, Masvidal.
I just don't know enough about him. You're hyping.
Yeah, I mean, he's got the iron chin. This guy does not get knocked out. He'll probably go the distance. He's got the more striking ability. But yeah, I just am very intrigued. He like knocked the last fight he was in. He knocked a guy out in like 5 seconds. He just like sprinted out of the gate, kneed the guy in the head, and the guy just knocked him out. And then he hit him like twice. So I don't know. I just love it. I love it. So you got that going on. Tune in, Fight Island. It's going to be just a spectacle to see. You got the charity workday golf at Jack Nicklaus course, the Memorial. And it's back, and it kind of stinks. They're going to all be there next week again, so you'll get Tiger, DeChambeau, and all those guys back. But those guys are taking a break this week. Pretty good tournament. This young rookie guy is winning. I'm a huge fan of him. I don't know much about him. His first year on the PGA Tour. Colin Morikawa.
Yeah,
he was the second most cuts ever made in a row, and only second to Tiger. So that's a pretty good stat to have for your first season. He missed his cut first time last week. He's back this week. Saw an interview with him. Seemed like a class act. Very well spoken. Very nice, humble guy. And I think rising star. He's winning. I picked Matsuyama. I picked Wolf last week. I know you and I was riding high on Saturday. Nice 3-shot lead. Bet on him to win. Got the money in the bank. So I thought, don't count your chickens before you hatch. Matthew Wolf, get back out there, practice. He played terrible this week. Blew a 3-shot lead and lost last week to DeChambeau. So that one hurt. I picked Matsuyama this week. He's tied for 6th right now. 2 shots back. So checking on that Saturday, Sunday golf. Gotta love it. Ooh. And then MLB. You seen any MLB? That's coming back. The things I got for that quickly was Garrett Cole, Yankees rival, Yankees, the Red Sox. I saw he was in a scrimmage. He struck a batter out. They threw the ball around the infield. Evidently, if the X amount players touch the ball has got to come out of play. Ball comes out of play. Garrett Cole doesn't want it to come out of play. He's like, why can't I keep the ball? There's some back and forth between the umpire and him. They give him a new ball. He asks for a different ball. They say, no, you have to keep that ball. I guess he was mad. It was like a practice ball, whatever that means. Like a batting practice ball, I guess. Next pitch with the new ball. Tank bomb from Aguilar. So he was pretty pissed about that. I thought that was kind of just funny. And you're a catcher, so I'm sure you know, like, it's a hard habit to break when you strike a guy out, like, and no one's on. You got to throw it around. So thought that was cool. And broke my heart. Would have been the pisser of the week. Buster Only. Love the guy, MLB correspondent. He said he's giving the to start the season, just to start, 35% chance of starting, and he's given it a 0% chance to be completed. So that's not good. The old 0% chance, never good. So
Yeah. So a few things. Did watch the celebrity tournament. I watched it yesterday, the Friday round. You said it's in Lake Tahoe.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, Lake Tahoe.
Yeah, they had like Tony Romo, John Smoltz. Who else was there? They had a
Steph
few
Curry.
other. Steph Curry was there. Like it was kind of fun just to watch a few of those guys play. Like some of the other guys, it's like, why the fuck are you out there? So that I mean, I may tune into this weekend. But with MLB though, I'm really concerned about them going to all of these locations. Like I think they should definitely narrow it down to like 2 or 3 cities within like a geographical area and just keep it kind of maintained. I don't it's going to be like a wild horse. You can't control it once you're going from city to city, place to place. Like it's going to be so hard to control. So MLB,
Yeah.
I'm on board with that, dude. I just don't see them finishing out the season the way things are going right now. It's just fucking crazy. But the other day I actually was able to go around the Green Monster down here at Fenway, and I was able to peek through. They had a door open, and you could see in from the outfield. And I was like sitting there watching them play the inter squad game, so it was pretty cool. And then I saw later that day JD Martinez fucking hit a bomb over the Green Monster. I was like, oh my god, I just need to go sit over there and wait behind the Green Monster, just wait for somebody to jack one, you know?
Dude, that is cool. That's sick. I forgot about the celebrity golf tournament. I'm definitely going to tune into that. I was watching some highlights on that. But yeah, man, completely agree with you. They got to narrow it down. And then Freddie Freeman already got COVID, so he might not even play the whole season. So that sucks. It's like once these star players start dropping, I think you'll start to see the fans' interest going down, and therefore they'll pull the reins back. I mean, I don't hate them for trying it, but
yeah, and I saw too. Like I know we weren't going to touch on the NBA, but like people were concerned in the NBA. Was it who was it? Kevin Durant is not playing. Like there's a few teams that are scrambling right now, like trying to fill their rosters because guys are either pulling out, not wanting to play, or they're getting COVID. So I did just fucking crazy world. I want sports so badly to work. I just don't see it. I don't see how it's going to work, you know? Sad day, man. But let's roll into something a little bit happier, a little pop culture movies, TV for you guys this week. We've been hawking the networks, the Netflixes, the Primes, the HBOs, the YouTube TVs, and I actually watched this one movie, dude. I feel like you have to watch it. It's so crazy. It's called My Scientology Movie on Netflix. Have you heard of it? Know what it is?
No, 0% about it.
It's crazy. Scientology is essentially like this cult, and it's protected like here in the US somehow, some way. Very powerful people are behind this thing. And it makes a documentary. This guy's like, hey, I want to make a documentary about this, but he pulls like people that were like outcasted or like one of the top guys, like right-hand man, to like run this movie and like help recreate like what Scientology is. I recommend watching it. Definitely a good watch.
Yeah, that's what's up. I've been addicted to this new HBO show, Perry Mason.
Ooh.
It's like an old school, like 1930s set in Los Angeles. There's like a child murder, and they bring in the private detective, Mr. Perry Mason. And it's the guy from Americans. If you've seen that, if you've seen the Mr. Rogers movie, it's the guy who's writing the piece on Mr. Rogers, the co-star in that movie. I think his last name's Reese, I believe, but love him. Great actor, great acting, great story. If you can get past the first 5 minutes, there's one scene. My wife was liking it last night, but she did say that there's a baby with its eyes sewn like shut, and it's a little baby that gets killed in a kidnapping. And it turned her off in the first 5 minutes. It's literally like the opening of the show is the worst part of the show, the most gruesome, and it never goes back to that. But did you ever watch The Outsider on HBO? The little like
Yeah.
It's a lot like this, except like take away the sci-fi-ness and like the mystical thing. Like this is like powerful people behind it trying to cover it up. It's awesome. And Perry Mason, nothing gets by Perry Mason. Very Sherlock Holmes-esque feel to this guy.
Okay.
Because he like kind of drinks a lot. He's drinking all the time when he's not working, but he's like the best detective. But he doesn't work for the cops because they're corrupt, and it's awesome, dude. You'll like it. You'll watch like once you get going, it's one of those. You're like, gotta watch the next one. Gotta watch the next one.
I
So
tried to dibble dabble in the first episode the other night, and I got distracted.
yeah, it's definitely a thinker. I mean, you gotta watch. It's a
You gotta
good thinker though.
watch. You can't second hand watch
Yeah,
that.
that's not. I don't secondhand watch that one. I
Okay.
first hand,
Okay.
straight up, first hand.
Oh, dude. Well, if you're looking for a bad good movie, I have another one for you. It's called An Evening with Beverly Loughlin. Very interesting cast. The best comparison I can make is the show on HBO where it's like the two Australian guys. What is that
The
one?
Flight of the
Yeah,
Concords.
Flight of the Conchords. It has both of those guys in the movie, so it's
Nice.
that style of comedy. It also has some big other like actors in it. It's just such a bad movie. It got horrible reviews on IMDb, but there's some parts in it that I thought were hilarious just because of the style of humor. So if you like Flight of the Conchords, you'll like this movie. It is a bad good movie, meaning don't go out of your way to watch it. But if you have some time to kill and you want to watch a dumb like kind of movie, this one's for you.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. On Netflix, I like a good bad movie every once in a while. I'm trying to think of what I think is a good bad movie that I like, but nothing really coming to mind. I'm kind of a movie snob, obviously. If you've been listening to the show for older Reed, he only watches the best of the best. So I'm coming you a critics awarded. Nah, just kidding. But yeah, man. And then I've been diving into social media. I'm still a rookie. I haven't even been in the social media world on YouTube now. I'm blowing up. The come up is real. Trying to dive into social media. Finger on the button app. Did you see that? And then rest in peace, TikTok. It looks like for all those TikTokers out there, it's a tough week for you guys with the U.S. government shutting her down, or attempting to shut her down. I'm not exactly sure what happened with TikTok, but seems to be on the brink of being out of there from the App Store. Did you see any of that finger on the button app? Do you know what that is?
You told me something about it earlier
Yeah.
this week, and it seemed like it was something where this guy ran a contest where he challenged people to keep their phone on this app, or keep their finger on their phone, which was through this app, and he would give out a
Yep.
prize for whoever
Yeah.
held their finger on
Exactly.
it the longest.
Yeah, some YouTube guy, Mr. Beast, he does these competitions. Yeah, and it was 24 million people downloaded the app. The goal, or the winner, was going to get 25,000. You download the app, turn it on. You just have to hold your finger on the phone, and your phone basically has to be touching your thumb, whatever finger it is. But they did little things like you had to move your thumb, like if the button would move to the top, you'd have to do a little design. So there wasn't any bots or anything. But it went on for, it was only, he only thought it would last for 15 or 24 hours. Ended up going 72 hours. He ended up having to cut a check to the 4 final people to get him to stop, because they pretty much had it down to a science, and their thumb was never going to come off the thing. So he had to pay every 4 people 20,000. So, but yeah, cool idea. I think I'm really into this phase of innovation and what is new. And what is out there during all this COVID stuff. And hey, everyone's at home. This guy was like, I'm just going to get everyone to download my app, try to get them money. I thought that was just a dumb app, but 24 million people downloaded it. So.
That's kind of scary, though. If you think about it, if this guy can convince 24 million people just to download an app just like that, what kind of data is he getting from that and storing? Is my immediate gut reaction. If you can get that many people sign up, boom, just like that, 24 million, okay, I'll offer a prize. I don't know. That's a little scary. And congratulations to those 4 just hardcore competitors who went the distance there. I mean, that's pretty amazing to do that for 72 hours. That means you're not sleeping. You're having to move your finger.
Well, I think I wanted to look more into how the people were achieving it, but I think you'd have to do a tandem. You and I would be a team or something, and you would hold the phone and just sit there with it charged in for however long you go, and then I would come tap you out essentially, and then we'd both hold our thumbs right on the thing and then take them off together. Boom. Okay, your thumb on there. Yep, my thumb's on now. Boom. All right, I'm gonna go get some food. Be back. And then that's how they do it. I don't know, but I'm looking here. I'm trying to verify this 24 million. I see here, I don't know where I saw that, but I see it had 1 million people within the first hour on there. And then within they still had 1,000 people on with their finger on the phone, after 30 hours. So it's just crazy that there's that deep of a competition. I'd be pretty disappointed if I walked down to little Tommy, my son, and he was like, yeah, Dad, I'm just chilling with the finger on my phone. for the whole day. I'm trying to win us money. So I just thought that was a crazy little pop culture thing. But
Yeah. To your TikTok, dude. That's why I downloaded the app once, and I heard it was owned by a Chinese government company, and I was like immediately skeptical, deleted it like a second after I got it, and I've not been on the TikTok train. And once again, like what are they doing with this data once they collect it? Like my concern is like I see a lot of like military people using the app to making like fun videos and stuff, and I'm like, well, they're they're showing the inside of buildings, or they're on a military base doing certain training exercises. And I'm like what data is being collected and how is it being used? And I don't know if we're at the place with China where we can exactly trust them. So that's my concern with the app is where is the data going and what are they doing with it? So I mean, unfortunately, U.S. is taking a hard stance on it. I think why not this? Why does the U.S. make some TikTok app that does the same shit? Like, why can't we do that?
I don't know. It's a great question. We should do it,
right? Call it.
But yeah,
call it Talk Tick. Dude, that might be an idea.
Ooh, yeah, we could
put that down on the idea board, man. Talk Tick. But yeah, dude, that's gonna wrap up our TV shows, our movies, and all that kind of good stuff. And we're gonna end the show this week with our questions. I have one for you, and the first one I have for you today, it's only fucking 10:30 in the morning. Yeah. You are about to get into a fight. What song comes on as your soundtrack?
Well, first and foremost, Frankie's a pacifist, so I'm diffusing the situation. De-escalate and diffuse. Frankie, de-escalate, diffuse, Pete. Yeah. That's my middle name, 2 names, diffuse, and whatever I was saying, de-escalate. Thank you. But anyway, boom. Immediately, if I were to get in a fight, someone just slapped my wife in the face, I have to step in and defend her. That movie. I forget what movie it is. It's like Jet Li's in it. In the beginning, it's like he's just coming. It's like let the bodies in the that and then I just turn into and have a little brouhaha, if you will.
Bodies hit the floor. I forget things but I know exactly what song you're talking about. Yeah.
What about you? What are you scrapping to?
I'm scrapping to all right, I thought about this one, and it's gonna be Archie. We ready? Ready?
Yeah.
We ready? We ready? Or Head Buster. We some head bust. We some head bust.
I was in the right genre. I was thinking like you were gonna go Nuck If You Buck or something.
Yeah. You're along that southern rap, that Lil Jon style rap.
Up. Yeah. So I was over helping my neighbor change a belt on his car. I was trying to save a couple bucks, put his little belt on the car. Took a long time, but his kids were over there, and we're chatting it up as I do. And they were like, talking about all these video games they play. And anyway, I was like, we got to change the subject. So I asked them, what do you want to be when you grow up? Standard question. All 3, without a hesitation, I was not prepared for this, look at me and they say, we want to be a YouTuber when we grow up. Now, on one hand, I've never heard anyone say that growing up. I was like, hopefully you aspired a little bit more. But, YouTube's not a bad job. Like you and I were talking, Ninja YouTuber just got $30 million. So a year. So that's a pretty, good job. I'll take it. I'll be a YouTuber for that. But
more than Matt Ryan. And it's like 100,000 less than Aaron Rodgers makes per year.
Jeez, that's insane. But what I was like, YouTube wasn't even like, if I were to say I want to be a YouTuber to my mom and dad when I was like, 10, they would have laughed because they wouldn't even know what YouTube is. But anyway, I was thinking along those lines, and I was trying to think what was the first YouTube video I've ever seen in my life. And I think that's where the Kimbo Slice thing came in, is that was kind of the first, I was like, oh, you can just search anything. So it had to be either Tiger Woods highlights, where I just would get on there and I would just binge sports highlights, or fighting, like underground fight videos. Timbo.
Yeah, dude. I think I remember before there was YouTube, there was E-Bombs World. You remember that?
Ooh,
Yeah,
yeah.
that was like the first video like website you'd go to where it was like funny videos. And I remember, I think one of the first ones. I'm sure there was some like I watched before, but the first one that comes to mind is the whistle goes woo woo. Bub Rub and Lil Sis out in Oakland with like the whistler tips on the cars. It was like
Yeah.
only early in the morning, man. Y'all should be up cooking breakfast or something. That's like the first video that comes up to my mind.
I forgot about that video. That is a classic. And then just kind of lastly, a lot of heat. I don't know if I've talked about this on here before. I know I've talked about it with you, but so yeah, I've been borrowing these to make a bourbon drink with whiskey. I've been liking cherries, so I was on this cherry fix, right, where it's like sugary cherries. I can never pronounce it. Machinero cherries. I'm an idiot, so you never know. But those type of cherries. And so my neighbor was like, oh, I don't eat any cherries unless they're this Luxardo cherry, which comes in like a yellow glass jar. Well, the glass fucking jar is like $22 for like less than an ounce, or like, I forget how much, but probably 40 to 50 cherries, $22. Probably less than that, the amount of cherries. And so I've been using them, and I felt bad. I was like, shit, got to go get him some more cherries. So I'm not just every time going to his house eating all his expensive cherries. Well, I go to Total Wine, and I asked the guys, hey, what's up? I'm trying to look for this cherries. I saw online you had them. Can you show me where they are? I looked around and couldn't find them. And they're like, yeah, they're down here, and they're out of the small jars. Well, the small jars are $22. And I was like, fuck, that's a lot. All they have is this massive fucking yellow tin that holds like 6 pounds of cherries. And it was $90.
Oh,
and I bought it.
No.
Yeah.
God.
Now I have a $90 tin. And you can't even refrigerate it. There's so much sugar in these guys. You have to leave them out like in the pantry. And like, I'm just worried that like bugs are going to get them. Because like, it's like you I use a can opener to open it. Once it's open, I feel like the bugs can smell the sugars. But yeah, is that a bad decision, or
Yes.
Or are you just curious about how good these cherries are?
I mean, you can do whatever you want, but like, yeah, for me, a cherry is not worth that amount. Like, I feel like you can definitely. I'm using that $90 towards something else. So that's just me.
Yeah,
though.
that's true.
You know?
That's true. I'm just pissing away $90. But hey, man, when I drop one of those in someone's drink, they just
I haven't tried one, so
yeah, it's true.
Maybe it is. Maybe it's like caviar, where you're just like, oh my god, I'd pay anything to
It's definitely not like caviar. Like I that's another good question. I dislike caviar, so but yeah, I mean, it just enhances the bourbon. It's just a nice little thing. Like when you make someone a drink, you just like, oh, the cherries are in there. Like, ooh, these are good.
Well, all right, fair enough, dude. I do have one last question for you, though. This is gonna be it for today. Is if you were given 1,000 acres of land, what would you do with it?
Yeah, grow cherries.
He's Gary Grossman.
Yeah. Cherry trees, just straight cherry trees. Now, that's a lot of land, first of all. So I'd probably just live there, start like my own cult, have you just play Warzone, have like millions of big screens, man cave city scattered along the lands. But it'd be cool to have like, animals as well. Maybe some horses, I don't know. I'd hunt, fish, live off the land.
Okay.
I do a lot of stuff. There'd be a lot going on at the Frankie P Emporium.
Okay. The compound, the Frankie P compound. I think,
what are you doing?
First thing I'm doing is building a golf course. Okay, I want a golf course.
I'm doing that too, so I'm stealing that. Yep.
Golf course is the first thing, and then you build the house, because like while you're building the golf course, once the golf course is finished, you can go out there whenever you want to. The house can come second. Then you build the house. And then, I'd like to have a little self-sustaining little ecosystem out there. Yeah. So I'm right there with you. I'm living off the land. I got animals. I got, farmland. I got cherry trees all over the place. I think I'm on board with that. So that's what I did.
Damn, yeah. That's yeah. Love it. Golf course.
Hell yeah, dude. Well, great show. We hope you guys enjoyed the little sprint show we had for you. We're going to be having more of these coming up early next week. If you have not liked, subscribe, check us out, Twitter, IG, YouTube. Yes, sir, gentlemen. Holler at your boys. We're here. We're coming back at you early next week. Until next time, folks, deuces. Check, check, mic check. Sibilance, sibilance, sibilance. Check. Mic check. 1, 2, 1, 2. Sibilance, sibilance. Mic check.
Yes, I am. Fish face. Maybe over here. We're going here. We're going here. We're going in the white room.